Top 5 coolest muscle cars of 2026. Number 5. Chevrolet Camaro. It was born to eat Mustangs. Sounds like something straight out of a nature documentary food chain, right? But that was the actual battle cry Chevrolet's general manager dropped at the Detroit launch event in 1966, live on a 14-city press hookup. The room went dead silent. This word, you couldn't even find it in the dictionary back then. Chevy forcefully defined it as a small, vicious animal that eats Mustangs. No tribute, no small talk. The Camaro, from its very first breath, pointed straight at the then-dominant Ford Mustang. That kind of entrance, raw ambition, written all over its face, set the stage for over half a century of legendary fire. If you prefer a lazy cruise over a burning soul, then go ahead. Keep gripping that numb steering wheel of your grocery getter. Let the soft suspension and silent cabin hypnotize you. The economy tires, the steering rack with zero feedback. Every detail spoon-feeds you the definition of mediocre. That includes the joyless moan of the CVT, the engine note muffled like it's behind a brick wall, the seat bolsters that offer zero support. You can even slide the seat back to the comfiest position and turn the car into a soulless, moving couch. But mediocrity isn't that simple. It's not just about getting from A to B. It's about what's throbbing under the hood. A 6.2-liter, naturally aspirated V8, pumping out 455 raw horsepower. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4 seconds. That number might not drop jaws in a world littered with electric hot hatches, but its essence was never on the spec sheet. It's the moment you stomp the gas. The massive rear tires start howling, the nose lifts slightly, the 8-cylinder roar tears through the exhaust like a waking beast. That savage, pure, unsimulatable surge of power. And in that instant, you get it. What you've tamed is a purely American muscle beast. You can even spec the factory 6-speed manual, using your own rhythm to master every breath of this untamed horse. $37,000. This is a living fossil of the American muscle spirit, the eternal shadow of Bumblebee from Transformers, the original dream pinned on countless bedroom walls. On any list of the purest driver's cars, the Chevrolet Camaro never misses. For the price of an average mid-size sedan, you get a completely different soul. Not boss buttons and ambient lighting, but a perfect 50-50 weight balance. Not acoustic glass blocking out every noise, but a button that summons the V8 symphony. You don't get a cabin stuffed with giant screens, but you get Brembo performance calipers. No air suspension, but a hardcore chassis tuned on the Nürburgring. Its cockpit wasn't built for polite company. It was tailored for you, the one who still holds a stubborn passion for driving. The low-slung seating position, the chunky A-pillars, the tiny rear window view, all of it tells you this thing is no saint. The heavy steering, the bumpy ride feel, the mechanical clack of each manual shift, all these discomforts are the Camaro's greatest sincerity. This era, silent speed machines get faster every day, but the Camaro stubbornly defends the combustion engine's last stand. It's not fuel efficient, it's not quiet, it's not all that smart. Heck, the back seat can barely fit a dog, but its very existence shouts one thing loud and clear. Driving was never just about getting around. The moment you heel and toe downshift, the rear end squirms on corner exit, that V8 screaming into the red line. You discover some joys can't be captured by specs. Some urges can only be awakened by a true muscle car. So, if all you want is a tool to get from here to there, the Camaro isn't for you. But if you still remember the first time your heart skipped watching that yellow Chevy transform on the big screen, if you still yearn for that passion that makes no practical sense but you want it anyway, then get inside the Camaro's cockpit, the bare-bones interior, the visibility you have to fight for. That's all honesty. 455 horsepower, front engine, rear drive, limited slip differential, and needle dancing into the red zone. These are faith. You don't need $200,000. You don't need a V12. You don't need rear seat massage chairs. One Chevrolet Camaro, one winding mountain road, one afternoon to set your soul free. That's your own purest moving soul. Among the top 10 driver icons, the Chevrolet Camaro must claim a spot. Number 4, Pontiac GTO. In 1964, General Motors explicitly bans mid-size cars from packing big block engines. Pontiac engineer John DeLorean said screw that. He stuffed a 6.4-liter V8 into the Tempest chassis anyway. Found a loophole and disguised the GTO as an option package, sneaking it out the door. Headquarters laughed, said this thing wouldn't sell 5,000 units a year. Result? 32,000 units sold in year one, igniting the entire muscle car era. The Pontiac GTO, a legal riot hidden in the fine print of a contract. Pontiac GTO completely redefined how you learn Texas Hold'em. A complete game theory optimal strategy course featuring a precision-tiered teaching system, a visual data-driven decision interface, and hand-by-hand breakdown analysis. Absolutely stunning. This isn't just a course. This is the poker cognition operating system Pontiac spent 6 years building. From micro-level pre-flop range construction to macro-level board coverage, frequency calibration, every module is broken down into quantifiable, trainable, independently verifiable units. Over 300 hours of deep content covering 16 common game formats: cash games, tournaments, heads-up, shorthanded, full ring. No fluff, not a single vague, it depends. Behind every conclusion stands the backing of millions of simulated hands. The post-lesson training modules are equally systematic. They're not just video tutorials, they're your personal dedicated coach. The built-in GTO solver engine lets you pause the course at any node, drag the range slider, and observe strategy shifts in real time. The range analysis tool transforms the abstract concept of balance into an intuitive color-coded heat map. Red for high-frequency betting, blue for low-frequency checking, crystal clear at a glance. The AI sparring system is a tireless training machine, executing strictly within the GTO framework, logging your every deviation, and generating detailed leak reports. You can pick a specific scenario to drill: flop C-bet frequencies, turn double-barrel bluff combos, river thin value betting thresholds. The system crafts a custom training plan and works you until your decision curve approaches theoretical perfection. For players who take pleasure in crushing intuition with science, Pontiac GTO offers a near unbeatable decision framework. It doesn't teach you to read the player. It teaches you to read ranges. It doesn't rely on the opponent's mistakes. It builds a fortress where you yourself can't be exploited. From NL 200 regulars to tournament players chasing the WSOP main event, over 50 real-world scenarios deconstructed to the bone. Post-flop play in 3-bet pots. The frequency warfare of blind versus blind. Multi-way pot equity distribution. ICM pressure short stack tournament strategy. Every complex situation that leaves the average player dizzy is reduced here to clear, structured paths. A knowledge system balancing theoretical depth with real-world value, priced from less than a cup of coffee per course hour, making it the most cost-effective upgrade option on our list. Unlike the number 9 entry, some international platforms private coaching, a luxury designed for the elite. In 2023, Pontiac did something the industry couldn't fathom: slash the core course price by 40% while making the foundational modules free. Some called it self-sabotage. Some called it strategic retreat. His own response was one line: the era of premium pricing on poker knowledge is over. The next era belongs to the competition of volume training. 50,000 paying students have already made their choice. Some climbed from NL 100 to NL 1000. Some locked up their first 6-figure career score in an online series. Some just wanted to stop getting crushed by their buddies in the weekend home game. No matter the reason, they all walk through the same door into the same world. A world that doesn't depend on luck, doesn't depend on opponent weakness, only depends on the precision of your own decisions. This world has no magic, only math. And Pontiac GTO, it's the map straight to the heart of that math. Number 3, Dodge Charger. While the whole world swaps engine roars for the buzz of electricity, he stands alone, a lone rebel. Dodge Charger, pure American muscle, choosing to face the era with the most epic swan song ever. No compromise. Instead, they push the Hellcat madness to its absolute limit. This isn't a facelift. This is the most magnificent, wildest funeral pyre as the gasoline era takes its final bow. What you're hearing isn't noise. It's a century's worth of industrial faith, asking you at its loudest possible decibel, when the world goes quiet, will you still remember the sound of your own blood boiling? Dodge Charger, SRT, Hellcat Redeye, the ultimate totem of brutalist aesthetics in American muscle. This supercharged steel beast wears the Hellcat Flame Cloak, the wide-body kit swallowing the wind. Even standing still, it's throwing a declaration of war at the horizon. This engine turns every drive into a sonic sacrifice. The cabin is a sermon about the functions of speed. It might not boast the semi-aniline leather, but it compensates with Alcantara and carbon fiber trim, paired with a genuine raw American muscle soundtrack. A Harman Kardon audio system stands by, but usually you'll choose to shut it off, just to hear the devilish scream of the 6.2-liter supercharged V8. It unleashes an almost mythical 807 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.5 seconds, quarter mile done in 10.6. This is not a vehicle. This is a meteor flying at ground level. Priced at $90,000, the SRT Hellcat Redeye is the furious venting of the world's most ferocious production four-door muscle. And it's merely the gatekeeper of the combustion temple. Above it sits the name that chills every drag racer, Dodge Charger SRT Demon 170, a street-legal drag car built to shatter the laws of physics. It doesn't drink regular gas. It guzzles E85 ethanol, awakening the demonically reinforced 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi 5.8. When the full 1,025 Hellfire horses are unleashed, 1.66 G of launch acceleration pins your soul to the seat, your body thrust into the next dimension before your brain can even process it. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 1.66 seconds. That number doesn't read like acceleration. It reads like ultimate betrayal of gravity itself. It holds the production four-door quarter-mile world record, crushing all modded challengers. Bone stock. Priced at $100,000, the Demon 170 is the four most scalding, crazy, uncompromising words written on the final page of Dodge's century-long history, the ultimate demon. Number 2, Plymouth Barracuda. The world owes it a crown. The sound was wilder than the Mustang, the styling meaner than the Camaro, yet people always got its name wrong. In an era where it could have absolutely wiped the floor with the Mustang, it somehow lived in another car's shadow. Today, a 1971 Barracuda convertible packing the 426 Hemi can easily shatter $3 million at auction. A sky-high price half a century later, a massive slap in the face to everyone who didn't see it back then. This isn't a used car. It's a last will and testament, accidentally filled with typos. For those who understand wild grace over cheap screaming, every line tells the story of an era. From that thin, sharp belt line slicing upward to the massive curved rear window that lets the car behind catch the fading glow of your taillights. It's not a window, it's flowing amber, catching all the 1960s light inside. Not a single inch of pointless chrome. Every strip tells you muscle can wear a suit. Pull open the hard-top door, no window frame. The thin steering wheel feels light in your hands but connects to a steel heart, capable of tearing asphalt to shreds. 425 horsepower, dual quad-carb Hemi 5.8, 426 cubic inches, known on the street as the 7.0-liter Elephant. That orange-red block slumbers under the hood, but its breath, through twin exhausts, makes the concrete in the parking lot pound in time with your heartbeat. 425 horsepower reads like a number. Step on it, and you discover it's an act of violence, violently yanking the horizon right up to your face. 0 to 60 miles an hour in 5.6 seconds. In 1965, that meant you could let a Porsche read your taillights. Even today, it still makes the EV next to you at the light rethink the definition of shove you back in your seat. But the true drivers will tell you the Barracuda's charm was never on a spec sheet. It's in the way your passenger instinctively grabs the oh shit handle when you turn. It's the moment you hit the gas, the carb taking that deep inhale, the whole car rousing like an ancient waking beast, a low growl, then launch. Your back memorizes the seat's curves. Your right hand instinctually finds the cold metal gleam of that shifter, the T-handle grip asking you point blank, "You sure?" The Plymouth Barracuda is not a car for everyone. It's a car for those who throw one last glance back in the parking lot. For those who close their eyes and smile hearing a V8's idle. It doesn't need neon lights and straight pipes to prove its existence. Just sitting there quietly on the curb, proportions alone win. That long hood, the short rear overhang, the sexiest one-piece fastback line of its era. No one has been able to copy it since. Starting price, $2,500. Back when a Coke cost a nickel, this was a high-speed passport to freedom. Today, 60 years later, it's a love letter mailed from the golden age of muscle cars, addressed to those who refuse to compromise, to those who believe cars should have souls. Plymouth Barracuda, wildness, done elegantly. Number 1, Shelby Cobra 427, 7.0 liters, 485 horsepower. The whole car weighs about as much as 2 of your childhood buddies combined. Carroll Shelby took an engine strong enough to haul armored trucks and crammed it into the impossibly light fiberglass shell of a dainty little British roadster. This isn't car building. This is Shelby taking your life and mine, going all in against Sir Isaac Newton at the poker table. Stomp the gas, and what spits out of the exhaust isn't fumes. It's raw, undiluted, primal fear. 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds. Your soul is still standing at the light, but your body is already halfway down the next block. Welcome to the Death Waltz, live. Shelby Cobra 427. From the instant you turn the key, savagery hits you square in the face. No soft close doors, no silent starry headliner. You're engulfed by pure mechanical violence. The 7.0-liter V8 letting out a deep guttural rumble the moment your toes touch the gas pedal. Like a beast straining on a chain, ready to break free any second. This is not a car. This is a riot waiting to happen. Not a single unnecessary line on the body because Carroll Shelby gave it one mission. Tear through the air and tear the dignity off the competition. The aluminum skin is paper thin, curb weight just north of 1 ton, and that Ford Big Block V8 churns out over 425 horsepower. Each horse carrying less than 2.5 kilos of mass. What does that number mean? It means when you pin the throttle, the horizon lunges at you with dizzying speed. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.2 seconds. In 1965, this was data from another dimension. Interior? The leather bucket seats barely count as interior. No fridge, no champagne flute holders. The only cooling device you'll find is the oil cooler tucked behind the front grille. Air conditioning? Roll down the windows. Let the wind rush in at 200 clicks an hour. That's the Shelby-approved climate control system. Sound system? Every ear-shattering crack from those side pipes is the symphony composed just for you. It doesn't offer serenity. It offers adrenaline. It doesn't offer comfort. It offers the spinal shock with every gear change, every inch of road texture transmitted through the chassis. In a corner, the pain of the seatbelt digging into your shoulder, under-braking. A reminder, you are alive, truly, and unmistakably alive. This snake won't gently coil around your wrist. It bites down on your throat until you scream or laugh, usually both. Starting price back then? Less than $6,000. Today, an original 427 Cobra at auction smashes past $1 million easily, some brushing 10. Because it was never about the money. It was about one crazy Texan and a handful of British engineers who took an engine too big to fit, wedged it in anyway, and changed the world. The gold standard? No. Rolls-Royce defined how to move elegantly. The Shelby Cobra 427 defines something else entirely, that the moving itself is the whole point.